all the way kind of at the same time, and then Fallen switch roles. So and their results kind of plummeted. But then from there, it was just like they just went all the way to the top and sort of stabilized at the top. So I just know their graph.
That's very nice work. I can't think of much more boring than looking at a graph. I prefer books that are entirely comprising pictures. Anyway, here's the veto for our first series, which is FUT versus Heroic. Excuse me. Nuke picked by Heroic, Ancient picked by FUT, and Mirage a decider. This is going to be an explosive series, especially the last two maps. I like this series. We're seeing lots of Nuke as well, which is great to see. I feel like Overpass, while it's not picked in this series, it is kind of rising in the ranks as well. So we're getting more technical, but we've got those explosive maps like Ancient and Mirage to come in this series. But first, of course, we will start in the more technical area of Nuke.
Yes. It'll be really fun to see how the form looks just off the get-go. Are you walking in with a favorite?
I really like FUT as a team. I really enjoy them. They play a kind of Counter-Strike that I get a lot out of by watching. So I would like to see a good performance today from FUT. I mean, I'd like to see a great performance from both, in fairness, for it to be a good match. But yeah, FUT is, I always expect good things from them, regardless of who their opponent is, for the most part. And this is going swimmingly for them so far, but the pre-fire from Jug's not quite getting there. That's going to give Heroic a window, which will firmly and quickly be closed by the remainder of FUT.
Yeah, I think I'm also on the same FUT train. It's just kind of cool to see the trajectory of a younger team that's kind of refined itself over time, and you've got some promising young stars that are really exciting to watch. So yeah, I kind of share your sentiment there.
You're a FUT man, is what you're saying.
Yeah, show me the FUT.
Yeah, I thought so. I felt like I could tell. Tech9s and Utility are out for Heroic in this second round. We know this means this will be a dangerous round. Youngster's got a flash that he will look to deploy. Demon's close enough though. He could wipe them all out here, especially with the M4A4. The Julies to pick up the slack afterwards won't be enough to catch Youngster, but Cemetery is in position, which leaves Kristen with much to do. Notes how he's not revealing his shadows. Be very careful about that. But yeah, I think he might just be pulling up boots while he goes fishing. Although he did get one at least.
Spray downs, it's ramp always remind me of just like a classic spray down you would see in like a 1.6 movie, or just like the classic eco spray 1.6 in general. And it'd be kind of cool to have like a highlight clip one day where like maybe like a just retrospective Counter-Strike where you see like all the different Counter-Strike versions of that spray down, because I felt like it's so, the ramp rush is so iconic,
Heroic will be thinking about the next round. Lost to Mouse 2-1. They beat Parivision 2-0 after beating Passion UA 2-0. They did lose to Monty and Astralis before that in recent matches. Currently rank 18 versus 13 for FUT on HLTV. So I do expect this to be a competitive one.
Yeah, both teams, definitely a lot of comfort here. Heroic, perhaps more. 75% with 12 maps played on Nuke. I mean, that's pretty solid, honestly. And they're generally playing like pretty good opponents, to be honest, as well. So you'd expect, I think, to see maybe the most solid performance here from Heroic, or rather, of all of the three maps in this series, you'd expect to see them the most comfortable here. So I think, just in terms of the trajectory for the series, it'd be how things are supposed to go. To be honest, I think if they pick this one up, I do think though that FUT have that surprise factor about them that some of these teams do. I think, you know, like Bait, for example, is similar in that sense, or maybe even Pain to an extent as well, where they're kind of able to punch above their weight a little bit and just show more breakout performances because these are ultimately, you know, newer teams compared to like a Heroic or, you know, in yesterday's case with Bait, like a Furia, for example. There's more unknown quantities.
I wonder what to expect from FUT on Nuke specifically. Wondering how viable a 2-0 is, how possible a 2-0 could be here for FUT. Lost 13-2 to Astralis at IM Krakow. Beat Liquid 39. Of other matches versus K27 and BetBoom. So there's a question mark there for me. We shall see. Got bloody good numbers on Mirage, however. Before we possibly get there, let's see how these squads do in this buy round. Symmetry's in a good position. He's got great info. His timing might be all right now as we exchange outside. This may force the hand of the remainder. Demon carefully having a look, looking to keep map control or at least buy time for his squad.
Down ramp they go into the lower sites. Youngstar on the back of the push with the AWP. It's gonna be a tough one though. Demon's got a great spot, but he's alone. Kills it would probably end the rounds. Gets one for free, no trade. Gets to reset the situation. The jiggling here. USP comes out, does some decent damage there as well. So that should enable the remainder of FUT to be able to bring this one back in. The Youngstar, though, with the AWP could be the X factor in this round, but down back on the site. His teammates are having trouble getting that bomb planted, and now he's got to do it all by himself. No time, though. The AWP can be saved in this situation, but a flat finish, unfortunately, for them, but at least they'll keep the AWP, I suppose.
Yeah, that's always going to be notable. Headed straight back to the ramp for a defensive position, I think, with the time they had left on the clock. Left the riflers try and plant it as maybe a sacrificial lamb, an expendable man. But the AWP indeed will be saved. Now, they'll be looking to see if they can get a pick with that AWP before they lose too many pistoling players. Well, in an ideal world, not much utility to do it with, though. We have a risk with a boosted position. See if Symmetry chooses to go deeper. Perhaps he'd have support from a flash if he did. Oh, just sees a pair of legs flying in the air. Looks like a commercial for some jeans. Very bizarre one. Oh, almost caught on the rotation. That's so unfortunate for the T side. But again, the CT side is going swimmingly well for FUT so far.
Yeah, just locking down the south side position. Oh my goodness!
Oh!
Look at him on the barbed wire.
Man, it's going to need Egyptian magic to get those scars out. Well,
okay, well, this is not going well. They can't get out of the yard.
So much time to save. What a odd scenario to be in. Could be in the scenario no longer, it seems. So, a lightning quick start to Nuke for FUT, and this has to be concerning for Heroic. Again, the third map, Mirage, that I mentioned earlier, FUT are 83%. However, the sample size is 18 maps. That's a lot of maps. That's a big, big sample size. What's happening there? 64% on Ancient with 11 maps played, I think, is also a big percentage. I think people underestimate how significant that region is percentage-wise. It is more meaningful than you think. So, yeah, Nuke is not a map that Heroic can really afford to lose.
It does seem that way for sure, that this is where the series is the best for them. looking to lock down the outside again. Symmetry with the AWP coverage all the way back for CT. Like this though from Heroic, trying to split onto main, but a little bit staggered there. Susp going down quite quickly. Allows the CTs to focus their fire on the oncoming attack, and now there's, again, just not really all that much left. They're struggling to find openings and trades. Some of the basics here just aren't really going all that well for the Heroic side. And another round where it's like, okay, well, do I try to save? I've got a minute left to do it. This is not ideal. Oh. Hello?
Consolation prize there. Because he doesn't have the bomb. And he needs to hold his AK. These are... Yeah, this is... There's not much mileage on this car. It doesn't seem to be going anywhere. It's almost remaining and parked. And this is the pick of Heroic. So far, not so good. But I mean, hey, sometimes Nuke be like that. Again, chip away at the CT economy, but they've got to do more chipping, I would say. Lots of things going wrong. Nothing notable going right for Heroic at present.
Yeah, like you need like one thing to happen, like, you know, an entry somewhere, give something, like create a hole, give something to work with, but they're just kind of like left in these late round scenarios with nothing. And,
this is dry.
It's kind of tough too when you're on a T side and you have no basis of none of your conditioning's working, and so then it's actually kind of harder to even read what the CTs might be doing, because usually if your conditioning is effective, like your defaults are gaining space, you know, maybe you're getting down to secret. Maybe you're kind of shutting down lobby control. You kind of like limit the options for the CTs, which makes it more readable as to what they might do. And when nothing's working, it feels even worse because now you're not quite sure what they can do, and you're now starting to have your confidence get a little bit more affected every round that you lose.
Hero AK. But maybe the Tech-9s end up being the heroes of this round. So many of them and so much to do. Lux heads downstairs. Look at the TVs and the stereos. Oh, Shutter's got such a good opportunity here. Oh, great burst at the end. Kept a few bullets. Demon will reposition. Will there be anything else left here as Youngster manages to stay alive for now? A third kill would be something. Has he been spotted? Oh, nasty! Okay, then. I think that rifle's gone down the vent.
Yeah.
But Krabeni, he could take down from any range. So this is a dangerous one. And again, he's trying to use the clock. Oh, I can't believe what I'm seeing. The third one. Exactly the man he was looking for. The CTs should know where the bomb is. Cemetery, the last one. Oh, he could be found. He could be found! I can't believe he's clutched that. What a ridiculous
insane
round. Actually.
Felt like, hang on, press the timer button, hang on. He's like, let me... Must hydrate now. Yeah, this is kind of pretty crazy. I was going to make the point that one of the ways you deal with that scenario I mentioned before, where nothing's been working, is you go for a shock and awe rush somewhere. So just simplify it, and just you want the variance to be crazy. Maybe it works for you, maybe it doesn't. But if it does work for you, then you're kind of able to kind of reinvigorate the team a little bit. And I mean, that's an insane moment. The Tech-9, dude. I don't know how it could look that good, but it does all kinds of weird things on Nuke. Do you remember the falling Tech-9 from Get Right like a million years ago?
Of course. Of course, I do. So, I mean, that's a fantastic round. It's a really good highlights. However, how much does it change the situation? They have a good buy, a full buy. This changes from the timeout saves of one rifle if they are lucky. It's not a round they can expect to replicate to recover something in this half. So they need to find success in the normal rounds. because there's more work to be done to put the CTs on eco. So while that was a stroke of genius from the youngster, there is much more work to be done here for Heroic.
I mean, I do think it does provide a little bit of relief. Obviously, if they get reset this round, it's going to be very tough to deal with, but they only need to get like 4 rounds or so, have some breathing room, and they're going to try to go for this upper attack again. Jux is going to get... Oh, they actually heard the sound cues above the burning, and that does distract them, so the defense is still pretty good on this upper site. Very important swing, though, from Krisen. A 2 versus 3. The bomb, though, it is out there on the upper site. Has to be recovered. And Krisen looking for a potential flank. Good contain, though, from the CTs, from FUT. They are looking to make sure they maintain control of this situation, but that's a great pick from Krisen. And now there's a real chance.
Here we go again. They can't have 2 in a row like this. FUT. They'll not be able to survive. Timing was really good. How long was Symmetry last for? Timing last round was really good for Youngster, who finds himself in the clutch once more. He's got half the information as to the positions of the CTs. This time he's carrying the bomb. This time he doesn't make it. Demon from the back will leave 2 standing. See if they can keep chipping away.
That's really unfortunate, not getting the bomb down at least. It's a good look in this round. And you can see they heard him burning there on the top, and he drops down just as that last kick of burning is triggered. So actually acts as a distraction, which is kind of crazy. And it makes a huge difference. So the good times continue here. But for Heroic, I mean, they still have some guns. The problem is they only have 1 smoke right now. That's going to be deployed. Oh, no, they still actually have it. So 1 smoke. I thought it was 1 at the beginning of the round, so my mistake there. Still, Krabeni with the opening pick outside. Certainly makes things a little bit tough for the T side.
Krabeni hoping I'll gravitate towards him. I mean, they may feel like they need to deal with him to construct the round of the time remaining, and they have done exactly that. Now, what does this mean for the CT rotations? They know that they are heavily compromised outside, which can give more routes to the A bomb sites, and those routes are being taken by force, whether they're taken ultimately or not. The bomb head is heading up at present. I don't think it's been seen. I don't believe Youngstar's fired a single bullet yet. So there's a lot that FUT are not aware of. And again, if they lose by elimination, they might be in trouble here.
Just needs to find a good timing. It's very tough, though, because Cemetary's been kind of effectively out of the round the entire time, as he was on the lower side. Maybe available for like a secret play, but now he's over at the vents. See if they can make the timing work here. Actually able to get out the vents. Smoke onto main. Looking for the retake. Huge opening kill. Upper. Lots of pressure on Youngstar now, as he is trying to do what he can with the Galil. Logs able to take down Krisen. Youngstar, again, it's up to him. Oh my god, 5 HP. It's so painfully close for Heroic, but they just can't get it over the line.
He really needed to make sure he landed properly on that occasion. I did think the player on the roof would end up being an awkward position once he's got to give the sound cue and drop and help his teammates. Down to the wire. Heroic are getting closer, but they're running out of rounds to get more than closer as we head into round 10 with an 8-1 scoreline. Monster half from FUT score-wise. Heroic are, again, they're narrowing the gap in the rounds, but not converting the rounds. That 1 round, a miracle from Youngstar. And again, they're keeping the CT spending, but by the time they might break them, it could be too late for this half.
Terry back in the garage. Seeing what he can find. Not too much for now. we'll see Heroic going for a heavier secret play one of these rounds. They're going to go split upper again. Long's defending from the top of the huts. Getting burned again. And he is in a very tight spot. Has Jugs there for backup. Goes down, up the Jugs. Krabeni up high as well. Very nice from Krabeni. Stays up as well. Buy some time for Cemetery to begin working his way around on the rotation. He's going to go through the vents again. Nice flank from Youngstar, catching him completely off guard. Oh, it's Demon in the vents here. They're guarding the pivots. Oh, this is very scary, very low, Krisen. And this distraction works wonders there. Allows Cemetery to get a pick from the back. And now Krisen has to look between two angles. This is very difficult.
Found the util to give himself a chance. 9 bullets. Find 2 players. Can be done. 3 bullets. Oh, someone needs to tell him. He's got to go for the one taps, but it might work because they've both got 11 HP. It's the perfect storm. They found shelter. What an interesting scenario. The frustrations persist, however, as that is another round loss for Heroic.
Again, this is a map that perhaps they will be the most comfortable on compared to their opponents in this series. But that's kind of the problem with Nuke sometimes, is that Nuke, the T side is, I think, a lot harder overall. Like the principles of how you play a good CT side are pretty static and easy to understand. And so you could have a pretty strong CT side whilst being a team that's not as specialized on this map. And so I think right now, Heroic, they're getting the worst of some of the variants for sure. But FUT also, I mean, they're really flexing right now as well, showing how good they are. And it's very hard to win duels against them. You got to have great timings, great micro timings around some of these plays. And so far, we're just not seeing them reach that level, Heroic, to get the advantages. Because even when they are in spots to win rounds, James, it always feels like maybe it's like a 2v3 or something like that. So that they're not, in clear advantages. I don't think we've really seen that very much at all. Maybe one time. And then they lost that round in the afterplan. I think it was a 3v4 retake from FUT.
Both of these teams are 0-1. I think we should also mention. So, yeah, you don't want to just get pounded in your first 2 matches. But that is what is happening at present. Little change of angle for Cemetery. Oh, that second kill would have been so much. Faster paced round from Heroic at the start. Minute 30, scrambling down towards B. That is a big problem though. Losing that second player really handicaps what you're able to do in terms of crafting around, constructing around, pulling players out of position. It's just dry peaks here from the T side. Racing into the bomb site. Demon might have 2 here, but at least have 1. Bomb plant denied. Great confidence with the one tap as well. Closes the door, but which side of the door is he on? Oh, Nilo finds that the hard way. Yeah, indeed.
Yeesh. Yeah, it's painful. I mean, it's the thing that the FUT are very dangerous on these duels. Like they're very hard to beat. Like you said, this round had a lot of like dry peaks. And that's very tough. Yeah, very tough indeed. Heroic just finding nothing here. They need like rounds to just even start to have some confidence. I think that's likely beginning to be an issue. Just getting absolutely smashed in these duels. Everyone on the CT side is, obviously is very positive on the KDA. Not a lot of kills coming in for Heroic. Benny. I believe that he's played this forward position so far. See if xCloud can look for it. Oh, that is so painful. 5v4 early here now again for FUT.
Exchange of util for later. On the CT side, round a squeaky door. Comfortable comms, and again, just trying to creep in is not going to get past the likes of FUT. They are ready There's no util. It's such a difficult scenario for Heroic. There's no execute to, possible where you force the CTs from their positions and so on. There's just one flash, and that's it. 43 seconds, hoping that the CTs get too greedy for info as your Kickstarter, if you will, to get that engine going. It's Krabeni spotted on the outside. He's got more to do, though. They may all be heard by now. Just strafing, looking for these CTs who are dictating where all these fights take place. And that will be a monster half from FUT. Reminder, the DHL mailbag. Get your emails in. Put B-Stream in the title if you want it to come our way. More action after the break.
And we're back. But are Heroic back? Were they ever here? Are they in the room with us? It remains to be seen here as we move into the second half of Nuke, where they are going to be working from one round. This is going to be a very difficult CT side if they are to bring it back. And with the form that we see from FUT, it seems unlikely, but here we go.
See the movement to avoid any potential flashes. Or just showing his ass for the fun of it. Krabeni's the grenade man. He's got the util. Symmetry's got the P250. He's the raid boss for this one. That is unfortunate. A very unfortunate start for FUT, getting absolutely mauled in the hut and elsewhere. Exactly what the doctor ordered for Heroic. Shots of adrenaline. Krabeni remains. So we're going to see some Counter-Strike. That's good. Unless he can emulate what Youngster did earlier. He can't.
One of the problems is that, you know, again, with so many rounds to work with, they just need the variance to go their way 2 times. So it like gives you such oh no. what's happened to the lineup? But yeah, it gives you this really good spot as the T side to be feeling very confident, be very brazen with your duels. As long as obviously they just, you know, don't be sloppy around their game plan and the tactics that they know how to execute. It's going to be very, very, very hard for Heroic.
On the subject,
quick run down vent.
Yeah, he's a little bit isolated though. He just commits to the bomb plant. Commit! Oh, that's enough. He'll be happy with that. 3 HP and a dream. So if the HE collides with you and then goes off, it can do 101 damage in 2 hits. So he could have been a goner there. But on the subject of lineup stand, I remember, I'm not going to say who it was, but I remember having a conversation with an IGL that was talking about one of their players where they went into a game and he had specifically said, okay, you're going to do this lineup and this lineup. This is what you need to know. He went in and said, oh, dude, I changed my res, so I can't do the lineups now. Like during the match. Obviously not with the crosshair, but sometimes like if you're top mid on Mirage, you can throw a smoke for top connector by lining up the grenade with the aerial and so on. So I guess it was stuff like that, but it's hard out there sometimes, man.
Yeah, it is definitely hard out there, and that bomb plant was genius. They don't care about the CT economy, you know, because the CTs could have 4 buys every round. It's like, doesn't matter. You just have to win 2 rounds, so it just doesn't really matter very much. Monk's making his way outside. What's the point, man? Ooh, made his way to credit card. But it was denied.
Good util for the City squad. I wanted to say side and squad at the same time, apparently. Nilo's playing for info here. Drops off as soon as there is presence. He's got a flash and a HE. Oh, Youngster. That would have been an important one for him. He is somewhat compromised. The Nilo is all the way compromised. X-Cloud has dropped Shugs though. Urgency rising for Heroic as they try to charge the ramp, but that makes it so awkward for Krisen. The MP9 and 16 HP. He's got more support though, but Demon may just win the whole round on the ramp. Krisen can't take a fight here. He can't duel with 16 HP. They'll lose everybody trying to take Demon's position. Standing alone on the ramp is plenty for FUT.
Demon genuinely seems like he might be one of the players that might just have an explosive upward trajectory. I mean, he looks so insane. Can't wait to see, you know, how his career goes. And obviously, one of the driving forces behind FUT's success.
Terrorists win.
Okay, 12-3. The first buy run for the T side, working out a charm.
Yeah, FUT have got places to be. The match feels quite uncontested at present. That's just the feeling from watching it. But hey, this is a big buy from Heroic. They've got the AWP and all the toys they want. Although X-Cloud seems to only have a USP for this round. I guess sacrifices were made. Okay, he's been gifted a 5-7. Someone has shown him some mercy. Some charity for X-Cloud.
defense here on Ram. All on Nilo. Oh, he gets instantly taken down. Doesn't get anything there. Youngstar as well. It's getting pressured. And he's going to have to just let them have access to the lower site. And he's not going to get a look in here, let alone a shot. No 5-7 magic, nothing. This is rapidly looking like it's all over here. My God, they are getting destroyed.
This feels like CS with no warm-up. And what do you do then? I mean, you have to go for it. You don't have a choice, actually. There's not a question to ask here. You simply need to bear witness to what the remainder are able to offer. They both have kits, at the very least. That's something. But the pick of Nuke may be disappearing off in the distance. Unless they can find two more. Jugs is quite low, actually, and they do have a lot of utility. They could pop a grenade in that direction. They're going to go up towards control, or... There it is. Just too much to ask here. A one-sided affair. Perhaps more dominant than the Fury game we saw yesterday. That was a smash, and G2, but they beat Liquid, Legacy, 3D Max, OG, Ecstatic. That was a while ago, December, actually not that far ago. Well, let me look at the heroic side then for Ancient to see who they are winning and losing against. 100 Thieves, Astral, losing to G2. They got wrecked by Bates at Cluj-Napoca. They lost 13-9 to FaZe and 13-6 to Parry Vision on this map. So it's not, I mean, it's winnable for them for sure. It's winnable, but it's just the fashion in which they lost their map pick lacks promise, and FUT get started quickly on the T side of Ancients. They've got the numbers here towards the A bomb site. I'll never stop saying these bomb sites the other way around, I feel like, on Ancient. B feels like an A and A feels like a B. So there we go.
Well, I feel you on that one. That happens to me too. I think I'm a bit better on this map, but it was affecting me for a while. But I think I'm in the clear. However, it's a pretty tricky situation right now for Heroic on the CT side. Fairly isolated because of that red smoke, and that does leave Youngstar in a very pivotal position. He's got to get something out of this spot here. The bomb is here as well. If he can get both kills, that'd be insane for Heroic, but he is going to get traded out now. Susp on the site. Good opportunity here. Playing around the crates. Does excellent damage, but it's Demon in the 1v2 now. 45 seconds to work this map as he duels away, and he actually goes down. So great opener from Heroic to get off to a good start right away here on Ancient.
Yeah. That's exactly what the doctor ordered, because things were looking terminal, but maybe they can be better now. Nice stuff. A promising start for Heroic. Let's see what they've got in the tank then. Full buy from FUT. Oh, descending it straight into 8. Straight into 8. Nilo's got things covered. We've got time for rotation as well. X-Floud up close. That's his Youngstar. Moving through, but Jugs is ready to pop him. Gotta be careful about rounding these corners versus these Tech-9s. 2 plays in Donut, 2 in CT for the CTs. All the utility has come and gone for this T side. Now, can they retake without heavy losses?
Should be pretty good here in theory. The player is very, very low already. Making forward progress, looking good right now. Susp trying to wrap around the smoke, and suddenly big problems. Krabeni though, able to trade those kills very quickly, but there's no time to defuse. It took too long.
These boys
That's a disaster.
Dangerous. Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Oh. Why must it be like this?
Yeah, it's a formidable opponent in FUT. I just love their growth. They're so dangerous. Like it's very enjoyable to see. You know, we were commentating this team late last year, and they've become stronger. Their rank has gone higher, and they are showing you why.
Start looking to commit to some kills up here potentially, but no, he's going to fall back behind the smoke. Doesn't spot that early timing. And FUT will get the position. FUT don't actually have much util left. They've only got one smoke left. So we'll see what FUT are actually going to do here. Because, yeah, you can see they're not interested in continuing to work the map. They want to try to just get into a site, use the util, the little util they have. And Nilo, close to the MP9, looking to be overwhelmed. But I like this proactive play from Heroic, going through mid. Trying to see what's up. They'll have a fast timing through Donut. Nilo really has to hold here as long as he can. Maybe get a couple kills, but he's going to be unable to do too much. Does do some damage, but very quick on the flank, Youngstar. Active round from Heroic. It's paying off.
Wow. They don't know where he is. Oh, really needed to be quick with that one. 9 bullets in that magazine. Now, where is susp? He's got to be careful as well. 10 HP. Symmetry's carrying the bomb. What does he think is the safest bet in this scenario? Doesn't want to run out of time completely for a bomb plant, but perhaps he is suggesting a rotation elsewhere. Can he catch susp? Absolutely he can. Played the clock dangerously so. They took the risk, pulled the CT out of position and clutched the round. That is a very, very key round, especially after what is now a failed force buy by the CT side.
What's crazy too is that Heroic actually did a very good job in terms of being aggressive, and I mean they had very, very fast timings on the flank through mid with a lot of players, you know, so you can't really ask for too much more than that in terms of just setting themselves up to win the round. But when it came down to it, you know, we just didn't get enough damage from the weapons, and once again, you know, Heroic kind of find themselves in this similar territory as they found themselves on Nuke, but hopefully for them, they can mitigate it and not allow themselves to just fully get into this string of rounds where they just can't do anything.
Furia versus 3D Max is to follow after this series. Oh, they're going to keep on going. They're going to keep on trucking Heroic. This is quite the commitment. How are they going to make this work? They've used their utility to clear out the B bomb sites and its surrounds. There's a lot of presence and map control. The MP9 will be heard, so that is the warning for FUT that something is afoot here, no pun intended. Oh my word!
Jugs with the team kill. It traded out the kills here in red. That's important. There's a nice and dangerous CT setup for Heroic. They've got the bomb there too. Does need to be recovered. I don't know that they can hold on to it. It's in the smoke right now, so should be easy to be grabbed by Jugs. I like this round again from Heroic. Some good damage both ways. Krabeni caught from the side from Donut. These MP9s are causing some problems. That smoke is actually going to absolutely send the rest of FUT straight into the B site. HP is quite low here across the board. Really increases the variance of this round. In come the CTs. One flashbang is left for susp if he wants to choose to use that. But now suddenly things looking absolutely terrible. Xcloud makes his way around the corner, and he's going to get flashed as he tries to fall back off of that angle, and Jugs is going to go down. Great trading coming through from the CTs. That was very, very close. But Heroic, they do make it work here, James. And I got to say, I love that they forced, and I love that they are trying to be really active on the map constantly. I think it is the best approach. It's working for them right now. And hopefully this is a good start now for them to start to build that confidence up.
Yeah, that's a fantastic round for Heroic. A round full of purpose and determination, as you mentioned. Not just an aimless, all right, let's give this a go and see what happens. But they came in there with a clear plan for the beginning of the round, and just a general pace at which they wanted to approach that and the aggression required. You can see what it means to them. They know that they are better than the result on that first map. Their pick of Nuke. They were on the back of the milk carton for that one, all 5. However, here, have taken a daring force bite and put FUT in the bin. Symmetry and Krabeni force all the way down to 0 for both. See if they can get some pistol work to open things up as Heroic did in the last round. That pop in red room was very nice indeed.
Going to send it into the B side. Susp is moving out, trying to catch these players on the side of the smoke. Oh, he doesn't get the timing too right, but he's going to get one at least traded out. But has at least made some good work here on the T side. Only 2 players left now for FUT. In trouble. Good spray through the smoke. Jugs is all on him. He's got the Galil, and he's going to walk straight into Youngstar. And that's going to be 3 players surviving here for Heroic. That's actually a great result.
Starting to stabilize on their CT side. There's more firepower to come from FUT. You wonder if things will get better here on out for Heroic. I'm not sure if we've seen a match without nail biting so far in ESL Pro League. I love the focus from Heroic, especially after a difficult first map. A shocking way to lose, still in the zone is great to see. Everyone's lost before. Probably learned the most from loss. Tech9, man. Nasty. The numbers are here to stream in. But they've got to follow up. When your teammate's wide swinging onto the site, I think the smoke may have made it awkward. So after that one frag, you think, oh, here comes the danger. No. Floor were bleached. No trace of those players.
No trace. Okay, Heroic, they're really finding their way to a stable CT side so far, which is really encouraging after that horrendous nuke. And I like also, we saw after, getting really active to win that force buy, they started to, play the strength of the utility. And for, they're going to have to start mixing things up in terms of their default and where they find openings and just test more parts of the map, I think, at this point. Straight up B hits, maybe not quite as good before getting some picks on the board. We'll see. And also Heroic, it'd be really, really cool to see some more aggressive moves from them, just if you put it in the right timing. We'll see whether they opt to do that or if they continue to be a little more passive. Isn't wary of being punished. Much more mids here, and a good trade there in mid for them. It's a good start. 4 versus 4, over a minute to go.
Nilo is very vulnerable over towards the A bomb site. I think Heroic realized that, taking forward action around B so they can decide whether reinforcements are required. It seems that Nilo will be playing it safe, knowing that he could be under threat. Nothing seen around the B bomb site. Safety in numbers it will be for the CTs, but the fact they expect to help them visualize, that's a great flick there from Youngstar. That leaves the bomb in an awkward situation now as well. So many CTs still alive. You really don't want to lose that objective. So they need to pull the CTs away. Well, Symmetry will be able to rotate, but this is starting to look difficult now for the remainder of FUT. Although Krabeni has found an angle. That's a really important one. And he's done more than that, taking over this round now. Bomb has been planted. Becoming more and more expensive for Heroic. 2 on 3. The T's have the angles. Bit of individual performance has turned this one back in FUT's favor.
Stunning shot from Krabeni. Finished off by Demon. And indeed, this change of approach looking pretty good for them. And I mean, what we we should be interested to see in the next rounds is how is mid dealt with, because we got this really nice opening there. It was a very light investment from the CT side, and that's the early 4v4 with so much ability to pivot, because they also FUT kept one player towards B during that time. So do Heroic want to double down on that position a little bit more? And will FUT look to emulate this opening back into mid? Wow, he's so fast through the fire. Longs with the kill onto Floud. X-Floud is going to be in a great stead now to take Red Room if they want. Krabeni getting active. You like to see it.
Yeah, again, they're going to find... Well, yeah, they're going to find a lot of info. Smoke on the other side. Oh, how does he come out better on that duel? Susp hasn't seen a second player, and this round could collapse because indeed they're coming from both sides. That leaves Nilo in the clutch 1-on-3 to go for it. He'll hope he finds the kit on the way. Banks is posted up with a second AWP unless it's a disposal service. Okay, he's been spotted, and I don't know how much is left in this one for him. So we're heading to a tied score then. 4-4. Heroic with more rounds on the board than the last game.
Yeah, and we saw again, like, that's the focus was on mid for FUT, and that was where that opening came. So I think the question again is on Heroic, what do you have to kind of respond to this mid play, because too much value is coming into the hands of FUT because of that. So it's interesting, right? Because also at the same time for FUT, you kind of want to confirm whether or not the CTs are doing that. In most cases, you don't want to just like assume and then gamble rush something, thinking that they won't have players because they focus on mid at that timing. So I can't wait to see what the adjustment is for Heroic, if there is even an adjustment. Oh, we got pistols to begin with though, so they are gonna be charging into mid. So let's have it then. Ooh.
See ya. Keeping it simple. Simple is often effective. Incendiaries are so important for rounds such as these. It's compromising where the enemy can stand. Nilo may opt to hold on to his rifle. Definitely not going to make more than he is carrying. So FUT will be heading into the lead late on in this half. Good average of frags for the most part for FUT. Demon a little quiet in comparison to his teammates.
Denied. So FUT taking control of this half so far, and again, you know, we call back to that mid challenge. That's a piece that has to be solved. There are definitely different ways to solve it. As the CTs, you could perhaps be very aggressive towards B. That could be one way you could try to solve it. Or perhaps you could have more of a setup in donut. I think that's a little bit more risky though. But we'll see what they choose to do now that they've got weapons back in their hands. A couple players this time. They're going to go and challenge the smoke, or will they just give it up? And you know what? It might be a faster timing from FUT towards B, but the bomb is actually still towards T-spawn right now. Contacting in.
Does he survive here? Krabeni naded off the angle, trying to support his teammate, but susp will be able to re-emerge. X-Floud and Krabeni with the frags. Lanks looking to even the score somewhat. Krabeni looking past the angle. 9 HP will be good enough for Lanks on this occasion. Or will it? Shugs being dropped makes his life harder. The nades continue. Nilo still has an incendiary to deploy. That bomb plant comes through. Will we see it? Indeed we will, but it's not Lanks Planting that bomb. Sus creeping through the smoke. Gives the advantage for a second, but the trades will continue all the way down to the last man. The CTs are the ones left standing at the end of that duel fest.
Okay, super interesting. You have FUT trying to make the rounds opening kind of look the same timing wise. And it's like genius to contact up into B, because you think, well, okay, well, if the CTs are expecting us, everything is looking the same to do this like mid timing that we've been doing every round. We should surely just be able to walk up B ramp for free. But the B bomb site has been held really well by Heroic in this half. And in fact, that's where most of Heroic's success has actually been. So would expect FUT to maybe return to the mid opening again. Again, it hasn't really been fully... There's no successful challenge from the CTs just yet. But they're investing a little bit more this time, getting 2 players into Donut.
Mirage would be a very interesting test for Heroic versus the likes of FUT. Should they be able to get that far? Neck and neck in the first half of Ancient. Creeping past with the bomb. Unseen by the CTs. There is a hole in the defenses. Even with 5 people alive, how's Lanx been able to get here? Looking for a second. He'll get the first at the very least. Donut players are still standing though, forcing things back into their favor. Their numbers are very high now. That was looking ropey for a moment, and they'll know that there was opportunity, frustration, not catching one of those players in Donut, but sometimes it'd be like that.
Really smart though from FUT in that round, because one of the risks of going for the Donut opening there to help deal with mid is that you leave this opening through red, and Launch exploited it, but unlucky not to get more out of that one. Very nice round from Heroic, as FUT aren't really looking great on the money here. And you can see the opening works so well, we're doing it again for the CT side, but that means that only 2 players can respond immediately to this B push. In go the T side. FUT try to get these openings again. The B holds are just fantastic from Heroic. 3 versus 2 now for them.
Relatively quiet game from Demon. We'll finish with a 2-round lead for Heroic at half-time. They have a much better look on this map than they do on their end pick of Nuke. Let's see if they can close things out after the break.
A great first half from Heroic has them 2 rounds in advantage moving into the second half against FUT here on Ancient. Map 2, it's a must-win for Heroic. We'll see if they can get off to a good start with the pistol now that they move on to this T side. But FUT are ever dangerous. See if they have any tricks up their sleeves here.
Tricks up their feet. Yeah.
Feet sleeves.
Sleeve of wizard.
Trouser leg. Starting slow.
Yeah, Krabeni looks like he is waiting to offer a lie. There's already 3 players over towards this B bomb site. Oh, that's a nice pop from Laux. He's like, oh, what's that creep in mid? I see grenades over towards B. Is that enough clue? Perhaps this is. They've seen the bomb now on that A bomb site, and Demon will start to rotate over. Laux will concede his position somewhat. Krabeni dropped, pushing through B as Krabeni holds that mid area. They're all in CT though. The remainder of FUT. 4-on-4 retake being attempted.
Flash in. Nice defense from Nilo. He's done great work there. The Demon against everybody with the USP. Lots of headshots here to find, and he won't find any of them at all. Heroic, that is 2 pistol wins. But the first half, they did actually concede the following round. We'll see if they can make it clean this time. But the bomb went down, so FUT are going to have a bunch of cash to work with.
Really good look for Heroic. And I wouldn't even say they need the confidence. Like they like you can see they're really animated when they win these rounds. They're encouraging each other and so on, but I wouldn't say they ever looked dejected despite the smashing they took in that previous game. Well, we have a clean USP round here. We have some mailbag questions. Taylor Beard says, what do you think is the most important trait of an in-game leader?
Well, I would say it's a leadership quality. You need to take full ownership of the situation. And if your teammates did not succeed, you need to ask the question, could I have communicated it more clearly? Did I have buy-in for this? You know, what could I have done to have communicated better? There you go.
There we go. Double Mac 10 for Heroic in round 15. They come into this full of intention. Maybe defaulting at the beginning. Got the flash into mid from susp. Keeping the CTs honest around the B-bomb sites. They will be M4s. They will be... Oh, went for a jump peek at the worst possible time. There are smokes for the squad. Krabeni unable to hold his position. Traded by Nilo. But this 4-on-4 may encourage aggression to try and make things better for the CT side. We see Jugs pushing through A somewhat, which will allow Cemetery to move perhaps a little closer to that B area.
Minute to go. The CT is definitely getting a little bit worried. They don't have much information. They do have Jugs in the 4 position A main, but that doesn't give you all the information. They could be in mids still. Flash into donuts. How is this interpreted by FUT? You know, Heroic really trying to throw them off, but they are still committed 3 players towards this B site, which so far is where the bomb is going. So FUT have somehow, I mean, maybe they're just sticking with this, but they do have Jugs on the flank moving as well. So this is helping to confirm the information. But they're in a good spot to defend here.
They've just popped a smoke on the ramp also. However, many of their positions will be compromised. Demon might need a multi-frag. That's the bomb carry though. Don't expect he's going to be peeking anytime soon. I think his hand was just spotted there. The flank has been dealt with. Jugs was so careful with that. But Nilo is still ready. 4-on-3 for Heroic. Looking to move into double figures. They're keeping the numbers high, although Lounx has now evened them up somewhat. There's no kit here for the CTs. Running out of bullets, they both are. Down to the 1v1 though. Is there a way for him to win this round? Oh, he's just switching. The rifles, the pistols are all changing as the peak comes through. It looks quite ropey for the CTs really on that scenario with no defuse kits. Fumbling on the site, and Heroic are storming to a 3rd map.
Yeah, it's not a good situation for FUT, for the FUT. Makes you think of the Monty Python FUT for some reason when I think of it. I guess it's the most iconic FUT I can think of.
I need to look that up. I'm too young to know what that is, Dan.
Monty Python?
Yeah.
What? I don't understand how that's possible.
I'm pretty sure I'm older than you, Dan. That was the first thing I thought you were going to say.
Oh, it's just such an iconic British thing.
No, I know Monty Python. I just don't know what the FUT is.
Okay,
but I shall investigate.
You Google. Okay, well, in the meantime, Heroic are looking to consolidate their advantage, compound the advantage. Just a bunch of pistols. How bad could it really be? There are 357s on board. And Cave seems to be a little bit scary. Still one more player in position, Demon. Can you get anything else here? Oh, it's offering itself up to him. Another kill. This is getting kind of worrisome. There's the molly, but unable to get an extra one Demon on the way out. But still, 3 versus 3. The next Cloud is going to have an easy one there at Jugs, but still some chances. I mean, that Cave position, you kind of don't want any of the guns to be collected, but they may have to risk that. Going to the B site, and Lounx is looking to head them off.
I don't recall if it was FUT we were crediting for careful rotations previously. But maybe there is a feeling of defeat on this map. Oh my word. How? Show me how to do that with an MP9. 2-on-2 made one. Lounx trying to have a monster clutch with an MP9, which will be violently denied. The T's keep moving. So I don't know how long this second half is going to last for, but this would be a great way to answer that first map.
Yeah, truly. It doesn't get much better than this. And they had a really, honestly, hard first half as well. There's a lot of very scary scenarios. Wasn't easy by any stretch. And FUT active in mid here. They are more concerned about taking mid control, it seems, than Heroic were in the earlier rounds of their CT side. And Heroic are just listening. They're sort of seeing, okay, well, what are the CTs up to here? Now it's time for counterplay. Get the layer of flashes in to start clearing these mid positions. Cemetery, though, you might find a timing here, actually, as now the T's are coming in to re-clear mid to get a pick. An opening pick here would be everything for them. There's a smoke. Well, does he have an HE? No.
Denial of information. Oh, Jugs keeping an eye on the mid-cross. He knows it's been compromised. Let's see how the CTs respond. That will pull Krabeni towards Red Room. A 2-1-2 setup for the CT side now. But again, deciding to dictate where the fights take place. But once more, they are curious for info, and they may have picked the right time to do it because the bomb is headed in this direction. They could line up for him as well. It's a great pick by Youngster, but Jugs sees both players, I'm pretty sure, on the kill cam. And that's pulling full rotation. X-Flout in position, though. Beautiful second frag, dismantling the reinforcements for FUT. Multi-frag there could have been perfect. Krabeni will pick up the slack and do exactly that. 18 seconds to get this bomb planted. I think they know where he is. I think they've got those sound cues. How far does he go to reset the situation? Will he pursue the bomb planter? Who is that second man? There he go for the wide swing. Where's the cover? So hard to pick the right timing. And he'll do the best he can, but the numbers game will prevail.
Heroic looking nice on the Ancients. Looking nice. But are a dangerous team, but so far getting outplayed here on Ancient. I certainly appreciate that, Heroic are really finding their form in this series now. We are going to a Mirage. It really is going to help to set it up to be an absolute banger of a game. And FUT to bring it back 7 rounds in a row. What they have to find here. Heroic, everything's been working for them. Not a single CT round yet.
Nice from Krabeni, but Heroic are cracked on this T side. Almost no utility remaining for FUT at this point. Dominant revenge game for Heroic in the second map of the series. Again, a simple footnote on the first map, which was their pick. On the second, though, they have savaged FUT.
Yeah, and they're doing the same thing where they have a faster opening, they get that kill, and then they sort of just sit on it for some time, seeing what the CTs may do. Longs being boosted on A. Again, Heroic have paused for so long, they could be anywhere at this point. So the info is just not good for FUT, and so they're very spread out. Lots of util on B. Completely locked off this site now. FUT are in a lot of trouble here. It could all end in this round if they can't find some magical kills to get them back into this site.
Looks like they're running out of what little steam they have left. Rounding their way onto the bomb site. They know one's behind them, so they've got a 3-on-2 as far as the bomb site is concerned. Looking to swing onto Nilo, but he will deny them, leaving Jugs in a 1 versus 2. After getting smashed on their pick, they do exactly the same, or close enough, to FUT and force a third and deciding map of Mirage. When I used to go on the European circuit for Street Fighter 4, I did go to an event in Switzerland that was called Beats by Contest. And then I took a flight from somewhere in Switzerland to Cannes in France for £10 one way to go to World Game Cup, whatever year that was. But there was never a second Beat by Contest, and it's a completely different genre. But I think there's a few different ways where things might be possible. I think VRS tournaments are quite attractive for many more than would otherwise organize a competition. So you might see, there could be a VRS competition if you see the right people, if you have the right people in Switzerland. But let's go back to Mirage for a moment. X-Vlad will start the proceedings, actually Demon will, and the numbers will overwhelm for the time being. FUT have seized the A bomb site. A quick bomb plant, nice and open for defense. We have a lurker though for the CTs. Youngsters coming in from that mid position. He's one of two that remain for the CTs who have evened the numbers up now with Nilo dropping one. Symmetry's gone, leaving Laux and Jugs both in that jungle position. Laux creeping forth, a pop and another pop from Youngster. He makes it look easy. They look to their right, they die from the left, and the round is done.
Oh, that was pretty clean. I was ready for a tense 2v2, but make it look really good. Good stuff from Heroic there. Yeah, I'm excited to see how this one develops. We haven't had a lot of AWPing in this series, except the basic stuff on Nuke, but nothing, I think, to the extent as to what is possible on a map like Mirage. So I'm also kind of stoked to see more activity from the AWPers of these two respective teams. But we'll be jumping out the window here, getting a bit aggressive. Krabeni, he wants this. He wants the aggression, and that is exactly why. Let's get a pick. Let's get a gun down. And in the meantime, there might be a hole now for these players on Palace to kind of walk out.
Just want to leave space for you to experience the quietness that Heroic are experiencing, trying to defend with 4 players. As that smoke lands, they will find themselves all out of position. A fair chance they get back into jungle, though. And that can give them a rotation over towards CT, should they desire one. The bomb is definitely going to get planted, though. And now the T's are in CT. There are no flashes for a swing, but they don't need one because there's no CTs in there just yet. Nilo on the rotation now. Kristen's got a kit here, which is really important. He also has all the util. So speaking of flashes, we've got Jugs playing anti-flash. Laux is going to eat one. Oh, he avoids it. But the second one as well. How has he done that? That leaves Kristen and susp alone, 2 versus 4. They are at risk of losing everything. Support comes for the T's, but to no avail. That clock is ticking. Kristen has a smoke and a kit, trying to desperately get to the site, but the peak will come before the smoke pops, and they have lost everything.
Big round. That's a big one to pick up there, just straight away, just in the action. We've got the opening pick from, I think it was Krabeni. No, Demon. It was Demon here with the help of Krabeni. That really kind of opened up some space on the map.
Boom.
Gosh, what a huge eagle shot too. That's an impact frag. Now look who holds the D, gets Kristen.
Oh, how good is his hearing to avoid the first and second flashbang there?
Yeah, true.
Laux locked in to turn things around and put the CT economy in the bin. So the only other scenario I would see where you would have an event in Switzerland would be an exhibition. And I'm thinking, like, for what industry? I'd love to see watch industry more involved, but there's too many balding old men in dusty suits in charge of things, and I think they'd have a heart attack not understanding the nature of this game. So
They should do, James. They should do the World Economic Forum Davos event. Should have Counter-Strike.
Where's Davos?
It's in Switzerland.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. So maybe an exhibition. I don't see anything else really happening in Switzerland. Nice place though. I flew to Zurich recently for a day.
Expensive, man. It's expensive out there in general in Switzerland.
They've got good croissants in a train station in Zurich when you come out of the airports. Yeah, nice place. Good rail system. Actually, I got a train to Germany and I got fined 60 euros because I changed train to go to a little village where there was a company in Germany. And when I got off the platform, there was an earlier train that was there, so I just ran onto it and I thought I'll buy my ticket on the train.
Terrorists win.
But the inspector said, "You have already committed a crime, so I must fine you." And I was like, "Okay, I'll take the fine." But he couldn't take a card payment, so he did me a ticket, and I had to go to like the booth at my destination and say I need to pay a fine. But by the time the train got there, I had bought a ticket on my phone and said, "Here's my ticket." So he ripped up my fine.
Oh my god.
What do you think of my German accent?
I have some issues with also like getting fined because of tickets and stuff in Denmark. It's just bleh.
I've already committed a crime.
Yeah,
that's my German accent. It kind of sounds like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, it's working. I mean, he's Austrian, but we'll forgive it. It's actually solid. Can you make more Arnold Schwarzenegger impressions? Because I don't think we're going to see much in this round. Bomb's down. Bomb is down. What are you going to do? All you can do is cry. You crying yet?
I actually retweeted a Bone Thugs and Harmony song that was done with Arnold Schwarzenegger singing. So check that out.
Oh,
in your own time. I'm assuming so. Yeah, but it's pretty incredible. So you can find that on the internet. So a slow start for Heroic then. Not the way you want to begin the CT side on a deciding map of Mirage when you had momentum, and now it's been taken by force.
We're going to be back into the fun stuff now. The fun stuff as we get the rifles back out. Long series. Well, actually, I guess it's not really long series. The first map was extremely fast. But FUT 3-1 up. Really important round for Heroic. No AWP to be seen so far. Neither with some cap presence. And xCloud seeing also that there is very little in mid. Where are the T's? And once again, FUT going back to that trusty A attack. This looks really good. A late lurk from Krabeni through the underpass is going to be on the way at some point. And these takes just seem to be working.
All the retake work. They surely need to try and get a pick before this bomb is planted. Krabeni on the big flank. He's going towards CT spawn as well. You rarely see the vintage flank through B onto that short position, but he's looking to come in from the back. And it's the T side who are looking for these frags before they get the bomb planted. Lamps can run distraction now as we see a rotation into mid from xCloud. Things looking somewhat desperate, but quite narrow in these margins for both squads. Down to a 2-on-2. And Krabeni's made it all the way to CT spawn. There's only one for each side now. Sailing HE over, but through triple, he will spot that last man. A tense one. Again, small windows for both teams. Opportunities taken. Only one man standing at the very end.
Timeout Heroic. This was a pretty crucial round to pick up, so I think I didn't see someone in the chat, so maybe there's a quick bathroom situation happening. But yeah, huge round.
They want it.
Laser focus. What do they have to work with? Well, at best it's going to be a half buy. Or actually maybe even a full save, depending on how much they want to actually have in the next round. And maybe they want to be able to play with the AWP now. You know, they haven't been able to do that on the CT side yet. And that might be a pretty important factor in helping them in some of these rounds and how they can approach the rounds. Often you can have, obviously, the AWP guarding the B apartments, for example. You could have it be more passive and just kind of play further away from it. Or you could have an AWP that's a bit more of an aggressive stance, you know, maybe pushing T main. I mean, T main clearances in general, even with rifles, could actually be quite valuable here for Heroic, given that FUT have this timing where after the first mid pressure, at the early timings of the round, they sometimes go into a fast maneuver, like mostly T-ramp oriented. So taking control of that position could be a way to effectively blow up some of these A takes that FUT have been relying on so far.
Some sound cues, inviting a challenge. See the pop flash being set up. Some very sneaky positions that Heroic are playing at present. Krabeni not shy to have a look with the AK. Does xFlood realize he's collided with someone? They're all looking for each other. And now the kill feed will start to get lit up. A big swing from Krabeni. Lightning fast as we're down to a 3-on-3. AK's collected by the CT side.
And Demon claiming all this forward space on the B site's really nice. Gives the clean out for the B site for FUT. And I mean, for the Heroic side, to be honest, I mean, they're going to go for this. They're full buying in the next round. They have a couple AKs. 5-7 connection. Okay, now it's starting to get a little dangerous. Do not have a kit though, so they've got to be really quick here. This crossfire should do the damage, and it will. No problem for FUT in the end, but a good look though, despite Heroic having very little in their round to work with. And they are going to be buying up again now. I don't know if we'll see an AWP though. I want to see it there. Just give me the AWP.
Yeah, I like how purposeful the setup was from the CT side. Well trained, even in the unlikely rounds. Want to make it as difficult as possible. Loving the pop-offs we're seeing from both squads as well when they went around. Strong buy for both teams. One of those big smokes in mid that allow the CTs to play behind it. That'll give them some extra info, extra confidence with their decision-making in the mid-rounds. Lounx seeking to destroy, sweeping through. Look at his crosshair flying around on the bomb site. xFloud deleted by Lounx as well. Now that it's open for business, Youngstar just trying to hold map control at the back, but the angles are being taken away bit by bit. Oh, Nilo thought he saw something around the corner of the smoke, but Shugs was faster to respond.
Bomb has been planted.
And Youngstar has the AWP, but do they want to commit into this? If Krabeni can get something going, maybe, but Youngstar's going to get taken down. Is the AWP recoverable? It might be recoverable. That might be the play. Krabeni moving closer, but Cemetery's on the angle. You walk into this position, you are going to die. As Krabeni has the cognizance that this could be held. Okay, well, we get the pullback. Oh, looking to be saved. And it looks like it should be successful.
Terrorists win.
That's always the mega pickups. I know, they're so strong. Like, look at this guy. Lethal. He saw way more of his opponent than the other way around. Great angle from Cemetery. Trusts his teammates to have his back. Team that more and more people will pay attention to every time they play. I think they're doing a great job of acquiring fans on their rise in the last 6 to 9 months. Certainly an enjoyable team to watch.
I think this is a good testament to that principle we talk about sometimes, where sometimes teams will switch off of something that works because they expect the other team will just counter it because they know that you've been doing it all the time. But so far, FUT have just been hitting the A side again and again whenever they feel like they need a quick win. But they are going to be definitely changing the situation here very fast through the apartments. Cemetery, oh, it's just too easy. Just so ready for that Youngstar, looking to catch players running forwards, but meets the AWP. Done by Krabeni, though.
Important to try and hold some map control. Now, what does xFloud suspect of this scenario? Minute 20 on the clock, and FUT are taking liberties with their map control. Fallen back from the B-bomb site, though, after that trade frag with the AWP. And our Krabeni looks towards that short position. Demon waiting for a peek. He knows it's coming. And that compounds the problems for Heroic. Utter deletion. They are getting mangled now.
Too easy right now for the FUT side. They've just really found their format, and I think this is probably why they have a 75% win rate on this map. They look really, really solid. What do Heroic do here? You know, they can't get anything going. You know, they've brought the AWP out. They're trying to find ways to get openers with it, and then every time maybe Heroic could think about getting something going, that A hit comes in and they just get smashed.
I think
again, I do think.
How do you surprise FUT? How do you make them uncomfortable? How do you catch them off guard, get a 5-on-4 to fall back on? Like they you know, Heroic are trying to make plays, but FUT are waiting for them to make those plays when they try to make those plays. Example, Cemetery with the AWP posted in B-Apps in last round, just waiting for that CT push. So like they're trying to take the game away from FUT, but FUT are expecting it and punishing them for doing so. So then what option do you have left after that? You're being outwitted, outfoxed by your opponent from round to round. You try and be aggressive and they're waiting for you to do it. Like what is the correct play if you're Heroic?
Yeah, and it's definitely hard to tell at this point. Switching into more B-heavy openings as well, so keeping things unpredictable. Do you have someone that's ready to receive any play towards A and can lurk A? Which has been, there's a mid-round timing around like 110 when those A hits tend to come in. Cemetery again gets a pick onto the site of B.
There's nowhere they can stand that he isn't ready for. Love the timing of this boost as well. As soon as they smoke the window, pop a player in there. Really trying to do the unexpected. No one is checking this whatsoever. They think it's denial of information. But that is implementation of the enemy. xFloud will have a look and Demon is waiting for him. They are just being waited for. Just like Jugs is here for susp as he wonders what he has to play with. And again, they're pulling legs off a spider.
It's kind of gross.
Yeah, I mean, it is. It's brutal. But it's a masterclass as well. Sorry.
Yeah, you know, you can just see they're kind of prepared for everything. They've got, you know, if there's any play to be made in mid from the CTs, they were looking to have that kind of delayed mid take as part of the default. They've got, I think it's Krabeni waiting a ramp, because a push a ramp. I was talking about it. That is one response that you might see. The CT is actually trying to like two-man clear that. So, you know, trying to just offer up information, offer up counterplay to all of the stuff that you expect, while still like creating action to drive the round forwards, as we saw on the slow kind of constriction around connector. So it's just, whoa. I want to see that again.
Punishing a jump peak. I mean, that's a hell of an angle. Yeah, they are so well versed in Mirage. How do you defeat that?
Oh, wow.
If you die to that pick, honestly, like, I would just turn the PC off at that point.
That's crazy, man. Tiny micro correction. The kill from Cemetery from Cat to Ticket as well. That's like, oh, I understand that HE was the AWPer on that angle. So if I shoot here, I will kill the AWPer. And that's, again, it's like, you knowing, I think you made this point yesterday, when you're a top level AWPer, you know all of the tricks and like how the other AWPer's going to be playing. So if you get a little bit of information, you can deduce, okay, well, that's what this means. So
Yeah,
yeah,
I need to watch some demos of my man Cemetery here, because there are definitely things to learn. Beautiful work, beautiful angles, a timeout from Heroic. They try to figure a way to claw things back. I mean, it's like you can't look for information. You can't make a play, because when you do, they're waiting for you to jump peak. They're waiting for you to have a look around ramp. They know how you're going to respond, where you're going to position yourself. And when you look to see if they're coming, they're standing there waiting for you to look, and then you get shot in the face. So I'd love to know what they talk about in that timeout. What is the way forward for Heroic?
It's hard to know. It's very hard to know. He's got to start getting weird with it. They're going to stack the A sites, so... But still staying to this B lane opener. That's FUT. Because FUT were mostly doing A. For the first 4 to 5 rounds, it was all about the A. Now they've kind of switched to mostly occupying the B apartments. And this time Krabeni's given up T ramp as well, so no presence towards the A side of the map. So CTs may have just guessed wrong here. They're going to fake into the A as well to hold the CTs there for longer. But Krabeni sees everything. Nice shot. A couple more of those and you'll be in a good spot maybe. Oh, and he has got another one.
A great effort. Looking for the lurker. Lounge has been dealt with. Now Symmetry needs to decide how he positions himself versus wide swinging players. A tag through the wall. There's some utility here for the CT squad, but they do have to pursue a tight choke point. Will he be ready for the boost? Symmetry has a swing, but the numbers will be enough for Heroic to survive. Doesn't matter how they win rounds at this point. Like every little piece, every little thing they can take from their opponent just gives them a little more space moving into the second half. So that is a really crucial second round for this squad.
Yeah, that's a very unlikely, but a great pickup for sure. They stacked the wrong side too, so I mean, it's just awesome. Awesome to win a round like that. And best possible scoreline, of course, for the half is 4-8 for Heroic. They've got the ult back onto Youngstar, so we'll see what he's able to do with that. He is moving, well, he's on ticket right now. Looking for a faster pace here towards the B sides. The incendiary will slow the aggressors. Bomb here on the back of Longs as well. And nade's being thrown into A here. They're again running distraction on the A side, making it feel like those A hits. Now here's the push. Krabeni has to defend this. His teammate's right there though, and he's going to be able to stand up for one himself.
Slow rotation for susp. Waiting for a sneaky player, but all three that remain are on the bomb site now. Youngster spots one in the apartment. May have the info that all three are here. Do they look for another kill before they get that bomb planted? Youngster down to 11 HP. The molly will force him forward and he'll still find something from it. He's still going. Traded by Cemetery. Plenty of time to plant this bomb. Krabeni having a look at Cemetery plants. Cemetery delivers. Sus moves forward into the wrong angle. Krabeni's ready for him. And FUT will take one more as we head towards the end of the first half.
At least the CT side of Heroic, they were able to pick up some guns in that previous round that they won, because obviously now they get reset on the money. So hopefully that is going to help them to have a little bit more going into this final round. So yeah, look for that 3-round scoreline. Demon Savage as always. So aggressive. Mid-window smoke just in time. But X-Cloud's still out there. Delivers one and looks like he gets away too. 5 versus 4 early now. You were asking about how to get those for Heroic, and they found it here in the last round of the half.
Another oppressive map for Heroic. But maybe a third round is on the cards for them. Symmetry walks to his demise. A better way to close out the half if this can continue. The bomb is lost on the ramp. CTs will be slow in their rotation.
Ooh. 40 seconds. And that will at least make it so that CTs have to consider the B rotations. Longso, he's going to get hit up quite a bit. Smoke hit to maybe recover the bomb. If there were a world where he could pick up the bomb, he could run it to B. But that's looking extremely unlikely. Can't get to it. It's too deep. Spraying for everything it's worth and gets very little there. Longs, 15 health and no time. Gonna just try to improve his stats perhaps at the end of this first half. And that's a wrap. Heroic with 3. That is something to work with, but it is going to be very difficult here in this third map. We'll find out if they can do it after the break.
How much is left in the tank for Heroic? That is the main question here. They clawed a few rounds back towards the end of that half. It was a difficult one, but the big question, I suppose, is the worst over for them? Will we see more of Heroic in this second half? Can they be in charge now? Because my word, again, They were somewhat crippled versus FUT on FUT's T side. Whatever they chose to do, aggressive, passive, heroic, had their number for much of that half. Maybe things can be different now.
For the top mid swing, Shugs. Krabeni looking to get these openings, and they will. Longs helping out too. Extra angle from Cat. Youngstar takes that as a cue to go into the ace site. He's alone though. He's got the attention of a couple CTs, so creating some distraction. His teammates still trying to work the mid position. Krabeni is going to just get out there with the dualies, looking for the long-range engagements. Takes down Exile to 11 HP. And Youngstar's in trouble. Gets also dropped by this Krabeni dualie action. And it's a complete shutout for Heroic. The worst has happened here now. X-Cloud, 11 HP against 5 players. RIP.
Yeah. Sometimes your opponent is just having a good day. Looks like they'll have to concede round 14 and play from a 3-11 scoreline.
Yeah, bomb plant would be nice, but how do you get it? That's the thing. With Glocks, I mean, that's usually some of the best value that you can get. Is can we just get onto a site? But the problem is so much util. Krabeni would love them to do this. He's very ready. Has his launch from Cat. Oh, Longs gets the spray down.
5 cats versus 5 pigeons in a low ceiling environment. And the pigeons are dead. Now the match begins in this second half. The Rifles will come out for Heroic, and they have much work to do. They're a team of very capable players. And especially with AKs in their hands, maybe that can be the difference maker as we see a mixed bag in this particular round for FUT. But again, in the vacuum of this match, it seems to be difficult to catch FUT by surprise, especially on Mirage. It is a game of 2 halves, though. So again, let's see what Heroic have to offer. They've got a good amount of nades as they take their initial map control. But again, they are expected.
Minutes and 20 seconds as we have Heroic working mids. Start in this round is looking for any CT aggression T-ramp, but it's not happening just yet. Might actually go back into an A play here. Just like FUT were doing. Heroic still working their way through mid. Nilo now set up in connector. Here we go. The rest of the team now making their way back through T-spawn into that A hit indeed. FUT don't seem to know what's going on just yet.
We reach the 40-second mark, and immediately FUT start to reposition, but in the wrong direction. It is so quiet over towards A. The deathly silence betrays a potential feeling of confidence towards B, which has no presence from Heroic. They're all here looking for their opening. Shugs forced into the open. Cemetery ready to trade and keep it possible, keep it doable for his squad. Krabeni pre-fires the Palace Peak and stops the bomb from being planted. 10 seconds. He's got to commit to this. He comes off the plant and comes off the round as well as FUT outmaneuver Heroic yet again.
So crazy some of the frags that they're able to get. Like killing the Palace player there is insane. I mean, that's obviously the duel that prevents the bomb from going down, and FUT, they're already ready to win this game and just put it to bed instantly against Heroic, making it look kind of like Nuke almost with how dominant it's been for them. Kind of a crazy series in that respect.
Oh, will he get both? Yes! Nothing going the way of Heroic in 2 of the 3 maps of this series. FUT in full control. A minute 20. 1 man remains. Youngster with the bomb, hiding in a corner, holding on for dear life. The cops are here. The helicopters are out. The dogs have been let off the leash. There is nowhere to go, nowhere to hide. A dominant series overall. FUT with 2 massive games. Losing the middle one, taking each other's picks, but my word, I mean, you can see it on the body language. Heroic were just launched into space on more than 1 map by FUT in that series. Mega stuff from FUT.
Yeah, and I think for Heroic, it just felt like things were just off. They couldn't quite find the right rhythm, the right way to challenge many rounds, and that meant that they just had these crazy shutouts, where both on map 1 and map 3, almost no rounds on the board at all. So something maybe going wrong in the Heroic camp here that they'll have some time to figure out, because they're of course not going to be eliminated just yet. But a strong victory here for FUT. 2 absolutely dominating maps, and certainly a team to be feared by everybody. You got to watch out for them as they will move forwards.